Okay, I think we can start. I hope the screen size is big enough and you can read it. So welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. Today is the 22nd of October 2025. As usual, we start with the introductions. If you are new to the meeting, you have the opportunity to introduce yourself at this point. It's not mandatory.
I'm new to the group. I can introduce myself if that's possible.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So my name's Alain Legacy. I work at Red Hat. Recently, I've been contributing to the Ironic community, trying to get some networking features added there, and I've requested to have an agenda item added for today.
Yep, welcome. Let's hope we will have a good discussion about your item. I have a suspicion what it is, but let's discuss it when we reach that point. Okay, I think everyone else is already a common participant of the meeting, so let's begin then. Please remember that the meeting is recorded, and as usual, I will continue with the general reminders for everyone. If you would like to help the Metal3 project, then please look at our Good First issues and Help Wanted issues. You could help by picking those up and contributing, resolving those, or commenting on those issues, or creating new Good First issues for people who would like to join as contributors but don't know where to start. If you feel that your organization would be okay to publicly disclose the adoption of Metal3, then you can help the Metal3 project by creating a pull request and editing the adopters.md file in the root of the community repository and add your organization the same way as others have done before you. If you feel that you have issues or an issue with a pull request because the tests are not passing and you think the test failures are not related to your particular change, then you can create an issue in the affected or related repository and link that issue to the Metal3 CI tracker via the project list or projects feature on the issue UI, and by linking it to the Metal3 CI tracker, it makes it easier for the CI maintainers to track the issue. If you feel that the issue is intermittent, then you can add the flake flag also in the title of the issue. Okay, if you are interested about any other deliverables or statistics or documentation or anything like that, or the YouTube channel, please follow the links in the community meeting notes or from the website or from the GitHub organization main page. Okay, I think we don't have anything else from last week. We have not carried over anything. I think we closed all the discussions last week, yes. And then the next would be the community working group updates. I don't see anyone from any of the working groups or any of the working groups that had active discussions recently. Is there anyone who would like to update in relation to working groups? Yeah, I think no. So we can skip those and continue with the release team and the roadmap. Probably I've seen it on the Slack or on the mailing list, but the first releases of this cycle has been carried out, and Moshour and Sunat has released 1.11 and 1.10 patch releases as the first releases in this cycle. So thank you for that, and please check out the mail that I think Sunat sent out, because you can find all the individual links to the releases. Is there anything you would like to add, Moshur? Because I see you joined.
No, nothing important at this moment. We just made the patch release. Let's see in the future, like what kind of changes are coming. So depends on the CI how it's behaving. But other than that, only for patch release, it's fine. Things are going well.
Yeah, thanks. Sounds good. One comment from my side that if you are a CapM3 user and you do upgrades from older CapM3 versions to 1.11, please check out the 1.11.1 patch notes because there is one bug fix that might be useful for you because in certain situations there is some problem with upgrading to 1.11 if you don't have that patch. So just good to know. Okay. Any questions, comments, anything related to the releasing from anyone? Okay, if nothing, then we can continue with the discussion topics. I have sent out a mail related to the MetaCube team meetup. Yeah, those who are long-term participants of the community or members of the community, you know that every year, once or twice, we organize this team meetup, which is almost the same as a community meeting, but we decide the exact day or the exact time slots for it based on a voting, and then we only discuss forward-looking technical topics. So basically new features, unresolved, long-term unresolved problems, and so on. And we usually spend 2-3 hours. It could be multiple days, but you can find all the necessary info on the mailing list, and also in the mail there is a voting link for a doodle poll, and you can decide, you can vote on dates that you would prefer when you are available. Currently, the dates are between 17 and 28th of November, 9 a.m. UTC, and these are two-hour slots. Everything is up to discussion and can be changed. Nothing is written in stone. And then if you are completely new to this format, then feel free to check or actually everyone should check the team meetup docs, because you can see notes from prior events, and also you can propose agenda points for this one. Okay, is there any comments, question, or suggestion related to the meetup? I guess if anyone has anything, then of course you can reach out to me or just general ping the community on Slack on the mailing thread. Any way, shape or form, you can do that, and we will discuss if you have an issue or would like to request some change. Okay, and then the first actual technical topic for today, and this is I think I know what this is. Yeah, the standalone networking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so would you like to click on the file, or do you want me to share my screen?
I can click on the file. I can open this one. Is the diff view okay, or would you like to show it in like the
Yeah, the
file
render
view?
view is probably better,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so the short story is in the past several months, I've been working in the Ironic community to add some functionality to address a use case that we have at Red Hat. I work specifically in the telco group here. And so we've got some operators that have been asking us for the ability to control top of rack switch ports automatically when nodes are deployed and maintained in the network. And so I've been working in the Ironic community to try to add some functionality related to that. So I've got some changes that are pending. Nothing's been fully merged yet, but it's in progress. I've got a bunch of reviews up. There's review comments coming in. I've been addressing those and refining the feature as necessary. So the next step for me is to try to articulate those requirements and those feature needs here in the Metal Cubed community to try to add support for that here so that, as a Kubernetes user, we can leverage that same functionality that I've working towards adding in Ironic and add that here. So essentially what this is doing is adding some new CRDs and adding the ability to configure the various bits and pieces in Ironic to be able to add this functionality, to add that ability to configure top-of-rack switch ports in a declarative way through Kubernetes. If you scroll down a little bit, one of the CRDs that would be added is the concept of a switch. So essentially just adding information about where that switch is, what device type it is, the credentials to access that switch, and so on. The MAC address, which would be the switch ID and LLDP information. And then if you scroll down a little bit further, just another half page if you could. Yeah, so then the central piece of it would be to extend the bare metal host in order to add this concept of host network attachment. So that host network attachment is basically a reusable piece of data that would dictate how a specific or a group of ports would be configured. So you can configure a port as an access port with a single native VLAN, or a trunk port with a native VLAN and a set of allowed VLANs. And then you can take that host network attachment and you can reuse it across multiple bare metal hosts. So if you scroll down just a few more lines, you'll see the bare metal host at the bottom there. So I'm proposing to add a network interfaces attribute, which is essentially just an array of references to the network attachment and the MAC address or the interface name that it should be associated to. So on this particular bare metal host, which is just a dummy worker node, I've got two network attachments. So one NIC, I want it to be associated to the machine network VLAN 100 network attachment. And then the other NIC, I want it to be associated to the data network VLANs 200 to 202. And so I could have multiple workers and I could have them configured the same way. That way I don't have to repeat the switch port configuration. And then when that information is passed down to Ironic, BMO would have to configure the Ironic ports for that particular node, and it would have to add the switch port configuration information, and that would trigger Ironic to go off and configure those switch ports as the node is configured. Of course, all of this depends on the node being inspected first, so that we can pick up LLDP information so that Ironic knows which switch ports need to be configured, and then this part of it is obviously how those switch ports are meant to be configured. So I don't think there's need to walk through the rest of the document line by line, but that's basically the high level description of what it is that I'm proposing.
Okay, that actually sounds awesome. Thanks for the whole contribution and the proposal. I have not had any time yet to read this, but it's in my queue. I've seen Dimitri was already providing feedback on this, and he also mentioned it to us, I think last week or about around that time, that this will come. I think this in general, like physical switch configuration is awesome. I think this was quite a serious missing piece from this whole bare metal management on our side. Yep, I don't really have anything against the concept or the idea. So how do you? Is there anyone else who would like to add any comments or any questions, or is there someone who already looked into this in details? I'm actually not really familiar with this top of rack switch port concept, so I cannot really comment on that.
Just a quick question is, I just went through quickly the proposal, but wouldn't this need like an additional operator or something to manage that new switch? That new switch resource, because as far
Yes.
as I can see, there's something that needs to manage this. And is there an API for the Ironic network service that allows to add switch or so, or is it purely configuration on that?
So the switch stuff, you're right. There would need to be either a new operator or an existing operator that would handle the reconciling of that new CRD. I left that out here as a detail that we can discuss later, but yes, it obviously needs to be handled by some reconciler. On the Ironic API side of things, no, there's no API per se for the switch. It's a configuration file that's fed into the new Ironic network service. And I talk about that a little bit in this document, where the reconciler for this new Ironic switch CRD would have to, anytime there's a change to any one of the Ironic switch CRDs, would have to assemble the list of all Ironic switch CRDs and then build a secret that we get mounted into this new pod or a new container for the networking service, and then it would obviously parse that file and load the drivers that are configured in the file, and then it would use those drivers to manage or to interact with the switches. So.
Okay, so you cannot. You need to restart the service every time you make a change to a switch. Then, okay.
Yeah, so that's an actual comment that so Dimitri raised that as well in his comments, and it's something that we've been discussing on the Ironic side of things. My original code in Ironic had code to dynamically reread the file if the mounted file ever changed in any way. I was asked to take that out initially and just have code that depended on the service being restarted to reread the file, because that's how all the other configuration files are done at the moment. And then I was asked to hang on to that dynamic code and maybe propose it as a second step or a third step in the development cycle. So that is on the radar to be able to avoid restarting the service and reload the drivers dynamically. But the first pass at it won't have that unless somebody has a strong opinion about it and asked me to re-add that back into the feature set.
Okay, makes sense.
One other question from my side, because then I guess this is the good time to ask. I mentioned that I'm not like I'm only familiar with this store as in like actually a switch on top of the rack, but is there a specific protocol for this, or is it SNMP, or is this also a protocol itself that you use in Ironic to communicate with the switch?
The way the feature is structured in Ironic is that there's a switch driver. So it's basically a pluggable interface. So you can put in whatever driver is necessary to interact with the switch. The driver that's being used today is called the Networking Generic Switch, which is a project that's been used on the neutron side of things in order to do this very same thing, but in a neutron context. And that particular driver happens to use SSH connections into the switches and then feeds CLI commands in a text-based way. So it's not the best interface into the switches. A better option might have been using something like GNOI or GNMI or netconf or something like that. But the framework exists to be able to use a different driver to do that if an operator wants to interact with their switches in a different way. So there is a way to provide a different driver. The default one out of the box is going to be the network generic switch, which, as I said, is SSH based.
Okay, I see. Thanks for the explanation. And is this generic switch already, does that provide some vendor specific? I mean, it's called generic, but I assume that like different switch vendors have different CLI commands. So how is that handled?
Yeah, so so the document that I've proposed here at the very bottom, there's a list of references back to that particular driver. But the short story is, yes, the networking generic switch does have support for multiple vendors. It's been around for a little while. As I said, it's been used on the Neutron side of things. So it's got support for, you know, the what I consider the most popular switches. So, you know, Cisco's are there, Juniper's are there, Dell's are there, HP's are there. It supports OBS for you know, local testing sort of thing. So yeah, so it does have a variety of vendor supports in there.
Okay, that sounds awesome. I'm not familiar with this project, but this sounds awesome.
If you click on the setup.config file right there, about 4 up from the bottom, down,
This?
yeah, there, yep. And then scroll down a little bit. Yeah, so from lines 35 to 60 there, those are the supported vendors. So you've got some Cisco, some Huawei, some Arista, some Dell, some Brocade, Fujitsu, HP, Juniper, Mellanox, Cumulus, Sonic, another Dell, Supermicro, and Nokia. So it's
Yeah.
it's got a fairly good mix of drivers in there.
Yeah, sounds very nice. Okay, from my part, I don't have any more serious comments or questions. I think from my part, I need to read through the whole stuff and review it in detail. But it sounds very good, actually, like very useful, and it's in the scope of the project, as far as I can tell. So anyone else, any other comment, question, or anything if you would like to ask us, or what?
No, from my perspective, my goal today was basically just to introduce this as a proposal, to make folks aware of it, and to invite you know, review comments. And so already some folks have been commenting, or Dimitri's been commenting, and other folks have been CCing on the review. So I'll wait for comments, and I'll drop in here weekly to, you know, if there are major issues that need to be discussed or things like that.
Okay. Yep. Sounds great.
Thank you very much.
Adam, okay. Okay, he's trying to join. Let's see. Adam's computer just restarted and it's stopped responding, so he will be joining soon. Sorry, Adam just sent me a message that his computer is not responding at all. So he has checked already the backlogs and the milestones. If there are no questions from your side, we can end this meeting for today. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No questions here.
Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. Let's meet next week.
No worries.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye, folks.
You.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.